This week was a rather rough week for me. I think I'm getting better slowly every day. Um, and the reason why it was a rough week is that I got a rejection that I wasn't expecting. Um, and I took it very, very strongly, as one does with these things. In the more that I think about that, the more that I am absolutely convinced that the reciprocity project is essential. Um, because I am, I'm quote unquote a war torn general at this point. I've been in a career for so long that, I've had my many, many fair shares of these um, failures and rejections. I am painfully aware of what it feels like and the sort of despair that you actually feel. And the more that I realize this, the more that it is essential to have somebody that's encouraging you, that's telling you that you're a good person, that's telling you um, that everything that you did was actually probably right, that it actually was often in my experience, that's often the case. It is, and you just have a, um, you have reviewers or editors or somebody that just doesn't get what you're doing, and they are, oblivious to, different factors. Maybe it's they don't understand, the methodology or whatever. And I'm very, very aware of this, or they just don't take the time, all of these kind of things that are very symptomatic of the entire field of, academic research. It goes from square one, right when you start, to when you end. And the more that I realize this, the more of this desperation, that I feel, the panic, the more I realize that the reciprocity project is my calling. It is the thing that I think I'm going to be known for, is building a system so that we know what to do, and that we can get back up and we can get going, and then eventually, 10 years out, building a system where it walks you through, um, how to actually do everything. And then eventually, maybe I even create a journal at the end of it where you submit it to the journal and it's all done. You've done everything along the way, you've done the steps and how to get things done. It's been check marked along the way, and then it's done. And you just follow it. And I think the more I realize this, the more I realize that it's this lack of not clear, it's the lack of clarity. It's the, um, every moment along the way is demotivating. It's the no encouragement. It's the focus on negativity. It's everything. It's the entire field. And I think with something that is, not only a platform, not only me telling, not only sort of this media platform here, just me telling you my experiences of going through it, um, of me letting you know that you're okay, you'll survive, you'll get through, but also building this platform so that we can get help along the way. Um, and not feel like, a complete loser, not feel desperation, all of those kind of things, those feelings that you go through. I think that is it. I think that's the secret. I think that's what's what's motivating me, what's sort of guiding, is building something around removing all of those negative experiences where um, I and I'm not the only one. I mean, it takes a split second to go onto the internet to find um, just a lot of negative stories about academics, um, and the whole research game. In so many different ways. So why can't I build that? Why can't I be the person that is sitting there constructing a system, and I do this in perpetuity, that allows us to get back up, that allows us to um, not experience any of those negative emotions, where it's encouraging, it's reversed. The whole thing is reversed. You get feedback all the time. You, um, the feedback's positive. The feedback is encouraging. It tells you how to actually get things done. It, gives you um, prompts and all these kind of things to encourage you. Why can't I be the person that actually builds that? And I think about the loneliness that I feel all the time because I have to work by myself. I want to build this so it's fun, that you actually interact with it. That maybe it's a computer on the other side, partly, but also, other people eventually that you interact with. And I think about all of the apps and platforms and all that kind of stuff that exists that does this in other areas, and we can't friggin' figure it out in academic research. That tells me either A, um, academic research is mostly false because we can't figure that out, and I do believe that actually at this point, and then B, um, you know, B, we're nincompoops. We can't figure things out, and we're no good at anything. Um, and perhaps I believe a little bit of that as well. But I've come to the conclusion that I might not be cut out for the whole research thing, but certainly, hell, I know that I can build something that learns from my experience and encourages people. And maybe 10, 20 years from now, that it's an alternative where you can submit things and it actually publishes it someplace, um, in a very systematic fashion. Whew, I think I think I could do that. I think I can change it, and I'm going to start. I've started, but I think I'm going to keep starting. I'm going to start again and keep telling my story. Keep letting you know that you're all right. Um, Letting you know that um, you just take one step over the next, and that, my God, you know, I hate to say this. This goes back to like Sunday school, when I was like first grade. That people do love you, and knowing that There's something good about that. It makes me smile whenever I go through these weeks, and I think I could do that. Um, maybe it's not as corny as that, but it sure as hell is going to show it. And I'm going to give the middle finger to the rest of the world if they don't believe that and they don't like it. I don't like this world that we live in right at this moment, and I'm going to change it. And I know how to change it. All right. Take care. Have a wonderful day.